In 1492, a Genoese explorer sailing under the Spanish crown crossed the Atlantic Ocean and landed in the Americas. His name was Christopher Columbus. For centuries, he was credited as the man who discovered the New World. But what if that story is incomplete? What if Columbus was not the first outsider to reach the Americas? What if human beings had crossed oceans, ice bridges, and continents long before his ships ever set sail? Today, we will explore one of the most fascinating and controversial questions in world history. Who really came to the Americas before Christopher Columbus? This journey will take us back tens of thousands of years, across frozen land bridges, Viking longships, Polynesian canoes, African voyages, and ancient legends buried in stone. This is not myth versus history. It is history re-examined. The first Americans before any ships. Long before Europeans even imagined an Atlantic crossing, the Americas were already home to millions of people. The earliest humans arrived during the last ice age, more than 15,000 to 25,000 years ago. At that time, sea levels were much lower, revealing a massive land bridge called Beringia, connecting Siberia and Alaska. Hunter-gatherers followed animal herds across this frozen corridor, gradually spreading south through the continents. Over thousands of years, they developed into hundreds of distinct cultures. The Clovis people, the ancestral Puebloans, the Maya, Aztec, and Inca civilizations, and the countless tribes of North and South America. By the time Columbus arrived, the Americas were not an empty wilderness, but a land of cities, agriculture, astronomy, trade networks, and sophisticated political systems. But these were not transoceanic visitors. So the question remains: who came from outside the Americas before Columbus? The Norse, Vikings in America. The strongest, most widely accepted evidence of pre-Columbian transatlantic contact comes from the Vikings. Around the year 1000 CE, nearly 500 years before Columbus, Norse explorers from Greenland and Iceland sailed west. Led by Leif Eriksson, they reached a land they called Vinland. For centuries, this story survived only in Icelandic sagas, dismissed by many historians as legend. Then, in the 1960s, everything changed. Archaeologists discovered the remains of a Viking settlement at L'Anse aux Meadows, in modern-day Newfoundland, Canada. The site included Norse-style longhouses, iron tools, evidence of ship repair, carbon dating matching the Viking Age. There is no debate anymore. The Vikings were in North America, nearly 5 centuries before Columbus. However, their presence was short-lived. Harsh climates, distance from Europe, and conflicts with indigenous peoples, whom the Norse called Skraelings, led to abandonment. The Viking discovery did not reshape world history the way Columbus's voyage later would. But it proved something revolutionary. Transatlantic travel was possible long before 1492. Polynesians and the Pacific connection. While Europeans crossed the Atlantic, another group of master navigators ruled the Pacific Ocean, the Polynesians. Using only stars, waves, wind patterns, and bird behavior, Polynesian sailors settled Hawaii, Easter Island, New Zealand, and thousands of islands across the Pacific. This raises an intriguing question. Did Polynesians reach South America? There is growing evidence suggesting they may have. The sweet potato mystery. The sweet potato is native to South America. Yet it was cultivated across Polynesia before European contact. The Polynesian name for sweet potato, Kamara, closely resembles indigenous South American words. Genetic studies show that Polynesian sweet potatoes originated in South America, not Europe. DNA evidence. Recent genetic research suggests limited contact between Polynesians and indigenous South Americans around 1200 CE. This implies two-way contact, not accidental drift. While the Polynesians likely didn't colonize the Americas, evidence strongly suggests cultural exchange occurred centuries before Columbus. African voyages and the Mali Empire. Another controversial theory involves West Africa. In the 14th century, the Mali Empire was one of the richest civilizations on Earth. According to Arabic historians, Emperor Abubakar II reportedly abdicated his throne to launch a massive Atlantic expedition. Some claims suggest hundreds of ships, a westward journey into the Atlantic, possible landfall in the Americas. Supporters of this theory point to similarities in art and architecture, alleged African-style features in Olmec statues, early European accounts mentioning dark-skinned peoples in the Caribbean. However, hard archaeological evidence remains lacking. Most mainstream historians remain skeptical, but the idea continues to spark debate. The absence of proof does not confirm the voyage, but it reminds us how much history remains unexplored. Asians, Irish monks, and lost legends. Over the centuries, many other theories have emerged. Chinese voyages. Some claim Chinese fleets under Admiral Zhang. He reached the Americas in the 1400s. While China had advanced naval technology, no solid evidence confirms American landfall. Irish monks. Medieval legends describe Saint Brendan sailing west in the 6th century. While his voyage may reflect real Atlantic travel, there is no archaeological proof he reached America. Ancient Romans and Greeks. Occasional Roman artifacts found in the Americas are generally explained as modern contamination or later shipwreck debris. These stories occupy the space between possibility and myth, fascinating but unproven. Why Columbus still matters. So if Columbus wasn't the first, why is he remembered? The answer lies not in discovery, but in consequence. Columbus's voyage initiated permanent European colonization, the Columbian Exchange, global trade networks, the Age of Empire, massive demographic, cultural, and ecological changes. Unlike the Vikings or Polynesians, Columbus's arrival connected the Americas permanently to the Old World. But recognizing earlier visitors does not diminish history. It enriches it. History is not a single story, it is a mosaic. The Americas were not discovered in 1492. They were inhabited, cultivated, navigated, and connected by indigenous peoples long before Europe took notice. The Vikings proved oceans could be crossed. Polynesians showed navigation without instruments. Others may have ventured farther than we once believed. The real question is not who came first. It is how many stories were forgotten, and how many are still waiting to be rediscovered.